So, this is part 1 to the 2 to at least 3-part introduction into me, my life, and my craft. Named Fire Lotus. I'm 25. I'm currently living near Gainesville, Florida. I have been practicing the craft since I was 13. I started studying about it, and I got interested in it when I was around 11 or 12. I studied for a year and a day, and then started actually practicing. Next year I'll be turning 26. So, I started out Wiccan, and probably about a year and a half into it, or a year and a half on my path, I realized that Wiccan wasn't for me. Not hating on it or anything like that, just saying it's not for me. I'm eclectic witch. I do not consider myself pagan. I do not consider myself any type of religion. I'm 100% spiritual. Honestly, it boils down to the whole spiritual part is I believe there are truths in all religion. Just the whole passing it down thing. And honestly, when it comes to gods and goddesses, I believe that they're the same thing. She's actually a Wiccan author, Kate something. I can't remember her name, but she put it best in one of her books, which was, think of the god or goddess as a disco ball. It has many different faces, small little pieces, but at the same time, it's the whole. And a lot of religions, if you actually put them up on a timeline, where Jesus came in at in Christianity, somewhere around the world, one of their gods or goddesses were introduced. And a lot of religions share the same stories. So, I believe there is truth in all religions. That does not make all religions right in any shape or form. I do work with the gods and goddesses. I do mix different pantheons, different time periods, Greek, Irish, Celtic, and like I said, to me, I believe that they all know each other in a way. They all know of them. And I also believe that sorry about that. I had some issues with my cats. But I believe that gods and goddesses have changed throughout time. At a universal church that I went to a couple of classes, or went to a group's classes, not hating on them or anything like that, but this was one of the debates in the class: do gods and goddesses change over time? It's in, no, I'm not going to use that terminology. Basically, we're still not having to sacrifice goats. We're not having to sacrifice or doing the old age way. They've realized that, it's no longer the Dark Ages. We're in the 21st century. Example, I am recording this from my phone. But the most important thing is, and this is really new with me, is I've actually started working more and more with my ancestors, or the ancestral plane. And with me, and I'm still myself discovering my beliefs on this and how I view this, or how it works. Not necessarily, I don't believe that you have to have ancestors who have practiced the craft. I do not believe that, because spiritually, I believe that when you die, it's like the Summerland. My version of the Summerland is basically, it's just like, a chill out space. Basically, it's just like here. Of course, there are different things, but it's where spirits go, and they do not have to practice the craft in order to go there. But go there and, just hang out until their bodies, because I believe in reincarnation. So you just go and hang out and help your living family members, which is where spirit guides come in at. But that'll probably be for part 2. But I believe that, when I die, I'll go there. Or if I have a direct, son, daughter, granddaughter, grandson, who does, pick up the craft and practice it, then I believe that I'll be their family guide. And in a way, this is where I say I'm spiritual, because I'm mixed and very eclectic, because I'm, in a way, it's like, what Buddhists reaching Nirvana. I believe that even on a spiritual plane, after, we've passed from this body, or in this lifetime, basically, there are certain lessons or certain things that we have to, go through to understand it, to get the knowledge from that. And I believe that I'll keep, going, repeating, well, not repeating, but having different lives until I've spiritually and physically reached that point where all the lessons that I needed to learn from a previous life, I've learned them all. And you go to, and you become, after that last life, you go to and become, basically you ascend, or you reach Nirvana state, where you either go and become one with the god or the goddess or the universal energy, or you become something else. And again, that'll probably be for part 2 to the introduction of my belief system, or, what I believe in, my views. And I'm not saying any of this is right at all. If if this makes sense to you, then that is awesome. If not, then okay. It's my belief. And they change every single day. Not necessarily every day, but they change. I'm still growing. My path is still growing. But here lately, I've kind of extreme folk magic, voodoo almost, or voodoo-ish, or hoodoo-ish, and root magic-ish. But I've been working with the ancestors. I still have a god and a goddess candle on my altar. But another point that I wanted to get out in this video is, once you have properly studied, okay, and I would suggest, traditionally with Wicca, and I believe it's with some other traditions too, a year and a day, just study. That doesn't mean you can't do anything, just not cast a circle or, call the elements yet. But study for a year and a day, and then after that, there is no right or wrong way of doing the craft. There is no right or wrong way of practicing the craft. That is why it's called the craft. And I cannot express that enough, and you will see that in my craft. I do not really go by the rule books. I properly understand the methods and the proper way of directing the energy and the tools and how to do them. So yeah, this is just part 1 and part 2. Well, this is part 1. I'm going to upload to Instagram, and I'm probably going to wait to upload it to YouTube. That way it'll actually be part 1 and part 2, like that. So, until then, I hope you stay tuned. Leave me comments, give me feedback. And before I go, I had a question the other day. I got my name from Fire Lotus. Fire is my element. I'm an Aries. April birthday. And the lotus, because I've always been drawn to the lotus flower. And one of the reasons is because it starts off at the murky bottom of the river or lake. And it blossoms into the gorgeous lotus. So no matter where you start from, that does not make it where you're going to finish. And much more to come on the name and the meaning behind it. But until then, I hope y'all liked it, and give me some feedback.